If you sit down in a chair and exercise at home, you might be wasting your time. As a home care physical therapist, I frequently see patients who make this mistake. You know exactly the kind of exercises I'm talking about too. Lifting your knees up, kicking your feet out, things like that. And I know what you're thinking. At least I'm doing something, some form of exercise. But that's the problem. Despite these exercises feeling like they're helping, they aren't actually building the strength that you need to stay independent. I'll explain why that's true and what you should do instead to stop wasting your exercise time and build a stronger future. I had a patient come to me who had been doing these exercises for months and she thought they were helping. But when I asked her to stand up from a chair without using her arms to assist her, she couldn't do it. And she's not the only one because I see this far too often. So try this right now. Stand up from your chair 15 times in a row without using your hands to push off. If that's hard, seated exercises probably aren't doing what you think they are. The crazy thing is so many people are led to believe that any exercise automatically makes you stronger. But that's not at all how it works. And the thing is, there's actually only a couple principles you must follow to build strength. Yet, if your exercises don't include these principles, you're not actually getting stronger. And it's surprising to me how many people just aren't aware of this. When you continue to do these exercises for years on end, thinking that they're keeping you strong, here's what I see happen next. Stairs get harder, standing up from a chair gets harder, and when those things happen, falls also become more likely. And on top of that, the seated exercise you've been doing don't build the strength to get back up off the ground or even improve your bone density to prevent a fracture. And they definitely won't make it any easier to recover when you end up in the hospital with an illness or an injury. Let's think about these seated exercises for a second and why they're a problem for adults in their 60s and beyond. If you weigh, say, 150 pounds, would it make sense that kicking your foot against air is making your thigh stronger so that it can support your 150-pound body weight on stairs or getting off the toilet? No, it doesn't work like that. It's kind of like training to carry heavy groceries by just carrying an empty bag. It looks similar, but there's just not enough resistance to really do anything. And if you want ankle weights for these same exercises, because a lot of people do that, well, you would need pretty heavy ankle weights to really have any kind of an impact here. Or patients will ask me, well, what about marching from a seated position? Is that a better exercise since you're lifting your whole leg up a couple inches? Unfortunately, it has no carryover because when in real life are you actually lifting your knee up higher than your hip height? That doesn't happen too often. And you can't fix these problems by just doing more reps of the same exercise. If kicking your leg out 10 times doesn't build strength, well, kicking your leg 10,000 times won't either, but it might irritate your knee or your hip. When it comes to strength principles, number one, your exercise has to kind of look like what you're trying to get better at. If the goal is to improve your leg strength for activities like standing up out of a chair and doing stairs, then the exercise must look like those activities. And number two, your body has to be challenged enough to actually adapt, which most seated exercises don't do. The real problem is that seated exercises only move a part of your body. But strength in real life, that comes from moving your whole body, whether that's getting off the toilet, climbing stairs, or getting up from the floor. So when you exercise, move your whole body through space, not a part of your body through space. Now, there are a few scenarios where seated exercises can be helpful, like right after a joint replacement when we're trying to get that joint moving again. But for building strength at home, for most adults, they just aren't enough and they're not doing anything. So what should you do instead? If you like to exercise at night while watching TV, replace your seated exercises with the sit to stand. It's exactly like it sounds. And if you need to make it easier, push off the armrest more to use your hands to help you. If you need to make it harder, cross your arms over your chest or grab a weight and hold it to increase the resistance. And always remember, when you exercise at home, that moving your body through space will do much more for you than moving one small part of your body through space.